Chapter 2361, Fighting It Out, 2. Mom, I'm done with my meal. I've left the plates in the sink, so remember to wash them. My period is coming in a few days, so I can't be touching anything cold. Ding Jiyi didn't know how to react. She knew clearly that Jiao Zijin's period was about 2 weeks away. Seeing how things are, Ding Jiyi figured that Jiao Zijin would be doing the same for every meal. She would have no choice but to cook again. Jiao Zijin might be a devil, but Ding Jiyi was no coward. Would she really give in to her? Ding Jiyi was stressed from her divorce, and Jiao Zijin was a perfect target to redirect her anger. She would even say that she sought fun in fighting with Jiao Zijin. Was she still going to eat? Of course. Would she make Jiao Zijin's life easy by cooking meals for two? Dream on. 3 hours after Jiao Zijin finished her meal, Ding Jiyi cooked herself another meal. Hearing the plates rattling in the kitchen, Jiao Zijin showed a grin of victory. She was confident that she wouldn't lose to an old woman like her mother. However, her sense of victory didn't last long. A few hours later, Jiao Zijin felt her stomach growling again. This time, she didn't hear any sound coming from the kitchen. Since Ding Jiyi had a late meal, she figured that Ding Jiyi wasn't hungry just yet. There was no way that Ding Jiyi would cook up a meal just for her, so all she could do was wait. However, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening, and Ding Jiyi still showed no sign of cooking. Jiao Zijin couldn't bear the hunger and walked to Ding Jiyi's room. "Mom, are you not hungry? When are you going to make dinner?" She was at her limit. Ding Jiyi looked at her and smirked. "Me? I'm not hungry at all. I have a late lunch, and I haven't moved around much. As someone my age, I can hold on for much longer." Jiao Zijin obviously wasn't here to take care of her mother. Ding Jiyi knew that she just wanted to check if she were still alive. Since she's not dead yet, she should get up and make dinner. The pair had been living under the same roof for 4 decades, and Jiao Zijin knew immediately that Ding Jiyi had something up her sleeves. Jiao Zijin smiled and left without a word. A while later, Ding Jiyi heard the sounds of chopping and stir-frying in the kitchen. Her expression changed. She had never tasted anything that Jiao Zijin cooked. Did Jiao Zijin have no choice but to put on the apron? Ding Jiyi could feel her anger rising again as she recalled how much she had spoiled Jiao Zijin in the past. Jiao Zijin had never stepped into the kitchen since she was treated like a princess. What annoyed Ding Jiyi more was that she was still the one paying for the ingredients and gas. It seemed like she had lost to Jiao Zijin again. Yes. Xiao Nan had no clue about what happened in Pingcheng until she received a call in the middle of the night. She didn't know what to say when she heard about the duo's situation. "All right, sorry for causing so much trouble. I'll pay for my mother's stay in the hospital. Thank you for taking care of the situation in the middle of the night." Zai Sheng was sitting behind Xiao Nan. "What happened? Was it a call from Pingcheng?" Zai Sheng asked. Xiao Nan leaned back into Zai Sheng's arms. "My old neighbor in Pingcheng just called. My mother was sent to the hospital for food poisoning. The doctor said that she had digestive issues, and she had built a habit of overeating. It seemed like she had spoiled food." Ding Jiyi woke up the neighbors as she was vomiting her guts out and was thus sent to the hospital. The neighbors were nice enough to send her to the hospital instead of complaining about the noise. There was no way that Jiao Nan would let the neighbors pay for her hospital stay. She never counted on Jiao Zijin although she was back in Pingcheng. The moment money was involved, Jiao Nan knew that there was no hope of getting anything out of that woman. When Jiao Dongliang was sick a few years back, she was the one that paid the deposit. However, as soon as Jiao Dongliang got slightly better, Ding Jiyi withdrew the deposit and forced Jiao Dongliang to rest at home. Xiao Nan would pay for Ding Jiyi's medical fees, but she wouldn't put too much in the deposit. She knew that the money would end up in Jiao Zijin's or Ding Jiyi's hands, and Xiao Nan didn't want to see that happening. Wah! The call made Xiao Nan exhausted, and the crying in the baby's room only added fuel to the fire. Zai Sheng massaged Jiaonan here and there, trying to lift the stress off her shoulders. Take care of the kids for now, and I'll send someone to look after your mother. Zai Sheng knew Jiaonan's bottom line. She wouldn't bear to watch Ding Jiyi die, but she also didn't want to provide for Ding Jiyi's living endlessly. Jiaonan simply wanted to believe in karma. Chapter 2362, Fighting It Out, 3. Yes. Jiaonan believed Zai Sheng wholeheartedly after hearing that he could help her. After getting up, she went to the nursery to see which child had thrown tantrums. One had to know that as the triplets grew older, they could slowly sleep through the night and would no longer throw tantrums at night. A situation like today was a bit unusual. Seeing that the two other children hadn't woken up yet by the noise and were just frowning and mumbling unhappily, Jiaonan hurriedly carried Bao up. She patted him lightly and coaxed him. Bao, be obedient. Don't cry. If you continue to cry, you will wake Bao and San Bao up. Jiaonan carried Bao into the toilet. She prepared a basin of warm water and changed Bao's diapers. She was a mother, after all. She thought of how Bao had made a fuss about drinking milk and had drunk half a bottle more than usual before sleeping tonight. As there was too much milk in his stomach, not only did he wake up late, but he even wetted his bed. Jiaonan helped Bao change into clean diapers and aired his buttocks dry. Once his buttocks were comfortable, Bao stopped crying very quickly. There were tears from the corners of his eyes. After sucking his thumb, he fell asleep very quickly. After placing Bao back in the crib and making sure that Bao and San Bao didn't wet themselves, Jiaonan returned to the room. As she opened the door, Zai Sheng was holding a mobile in his hands. Yes, all right. I'll hand this matter to you. As a chief, Zai Sheng was in a situation similar to that of a teacher. A teacher's achievement was that he had taught numerous students. Zai Sheng's achievement was that he had brought up a lot of soldiers. These included the soldiers in Qingshui town and the old soldiers who were now retired as policemen in Pingcheng. Found someone to take care of this matter. Jiaonan sat next to Zai Sheng. She looked at Zai Sheng with a strong sense of dependence. It was as if as long as Zai Sheng made a move, he would be able to help her settle the matters that caused her a headache. Yes. Zai Sheng carried Jiaonan and lay down again. Don't worry. Someone will take care of her hospitalization. Nobody needs to think about taking advantage of this opportunity to get any benefits. As a normal person, Zai Sheng couldn't understand Ding Jiyi's and Qiao Zijin's behaviors. It wasn't good if someone fell ill. How would there be people who wanted to make a small fortune via this? No wonder a soft-hearted person like Nan Nan never wavered in her determination to maintain a distance from her family. An ordinary person couldn't do such a thing. If the Qiao family was poor and they couldn't even guarantee their basic living expenses, Zai Sheng could understand why Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin had such money-making ideas, though he disagreed with them. However, it wasn't like this in reality. No matter how much Jiaonan hated Ding Jiyi, her biological mother, she would give her basic living expenses so that it wouldn't be a problem to her. From ancient to modern times, there was never a reason for a younger sister to provide for an older sister. However, Jiaonan had provided for Qiao Zijin all this while. It could be said that she had provided her for her university education as well. Even if Qiao Zijin had some money in her pocket now, it was given by Jiaonan. Qiao Zijin didn't earn a cent herself. Qiao Zijin had already gotten more than 1,000,000 yuan from Jiaonan. She still found that that wasn't enough. Seeing that their biological mother was ill, she even wanted Jiaonan to fork out more medical expenses. By then, if there was any spare cash, Jiaonan would definitely not make a trip to Pingcheng just to get back this small amount of money, right? As the only relative taking care of Ding Jiyi by her side, she had the authority as a family member to help Ding Jiyi settle her discharge procedures and withdraw the additional money. Once the money entered Qiao Zijin's pockets, no reason could make Qiao Zijin spit it out again. After knowing Qiao Zijin's and Ding Jiyi's characters, Qiao Nan and Zai Sheng didn't even want to mention that they were birds of the same feather who flocked together. In the face of such shameless people, what they could do was to take care of and consider all aspects such that they could try and not let people who love to be idle and profit from others' toil succeed in their plans. That would just encourage those lazy people to be leeches and form deformed mentalities of relying on others to survive. The person Zai Sheng found naturally acted fast. As such, Qiao Nan and Zai Sheng knew on that day why Ding Jiyi was suffering from food poisoning and gastric problems. After knowing the details of this situation, it was difficult not for Qiao Nan to admire Qiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi. Qiao Zijin was long used to living and eating at her parents' house. She was only short of making them take care of her clothes. In the past, Ding Jiyi liked Qiao Zijin, her daughter, a lot. She was willing to pamper her and was happy to spend a lot of money on her. Now, the situation was reversed and Ding Jiyi didn't like Qiao Zijin. In order not to let Qiao Zijin continue to take advantage of her, she had really used all ways and means. Qiao Zijin was forced to rack her brains and fight a battle of wits in a contest of strength against Ding Jiyi. She had to win such that Ding Jiyi wouldn't dare to play tricks with her in the future. Ding Jiyi bought all the cooking ingredients at home. Initially, Ding Jiyi started to stop cooking for Qiao Zijin and avoided her for meals. Qiao Zijin changed her habits without a word and started cooking. In the beginning, although Qiao Zijin prepared meals for herself, she didn't wash the dirty dishes. The bowls and plates were greasy and Qiao Zijin didn't like that feeling. Ding Jiyi was taken advantage of by Qiao Zijin again. No matter how uncomfortable she felt looking at the dirty dishes in the sink, she refused to help Qiao Zijin wash them and just let them attract flies. When Qiao Zijin was back at the Qiao family, the ingredients that Ding Jiyi bought were used up quickly. After eating, Ding Jiyi learned well and no longer bought a few days' worth of ingredients like before so that Qiao Zijin could prepare meals for herself. As Qiao Zijin didn't only snatch over the ready-made dishes but also the ingredients, Ding Jiyi thought of another idea again. She would specially buy ingredients that Qiao Zijin didn't like. She was going to see if Qiao Zijin would still use them and cook meals for herself. The mother-daughter pair engaged in all kinds of fights and their relationship was stiff. "I won't wash the dishes that you ate." "What? You're not going to wash them? Then, I won't too. Let's just leave all the dishes there then." Nobody washed the dishes, nobody cleaned the rooms, and nobody swept the floor. Under such a situation, how would the living conditions of the mother-daughter pair be any good? Especially now that it was entering June, the weather was getting hotter. By the time it reached the end of June, the weather would be no joke. When the weather was hot, it would be easy for everything to have a heavy smell. Under such terrible living conditions, it would be weird if nothing happened to one's body. As they fought it out, Ding Jiyi ate unclean ingredients and was sent to the hospital in the middle of the night for gastric lavage. Chapter 2363, Sticking to One's Opinions, 1. Upon hearing that Ding Jiyi was admitted to the hospital for this reason and that she was tormented so pitifully, Qiao Nan didn't know what kind of reaction she should have. In her dream, it could be said that Qiao Zijin was liberated after she placed herself under her car tires and died. However, it was only today that Qiao Nan realized that once the Qiao Zijin in her dream was dead, not only was Qiao Zijin herself liberated, but Ding Jiyi was as well. She looked at the situation again now. Qiao Zijin had pulled through and didn't die. However, she became Ding Jiyi's catastrophe. Qiao Zijin grew up with Ding Jiyi spoiling her. The reason why Qiao Zijin would become who she was today could be attributed to Ding Jiyi. There was always cause and effect. It could be said that Qiao Zijin, this good daughter, had let Ding Jiyi experience how this was like. Don't think that her spoiled daughter could harm other people's families. There was retribution. Qiao Zijin had once again returned to Ding Jiyi's side. She let Ding Jiyi experience in detail how good the daughter that she had raised was. Ding Jiyi was in such a pitiful state. However, Xiao Nan didn't pity her at all. There was always something to conquer another. Ding Jiyi had raised Xiao Zijin up alone. If Ding Jiyi refused to admit defeat, then she would be jinxed to death by Xiao Zijin. Ding Jiyi had spent more than 40 years raising her daughter. She naturally shouldn't just let others experience Xiao Zijin. Based on Ding Jiyi's current health conditions, she could still enjoy a few years of Xiao Zijin. Alright, I understand. It's not that this matter was troublesome. It's mainly because the people involved in this matter aren't easy to deal with. Brother Zai, there shouldn't be any problems with the person you found, right? Xiao Nan felt pretty embarrassed to hand over her messy family affairs to others to deal with. The problem was that she didn't want to go back to Pingcheng to handle it herself. Aside from the person Zai Sheng helped to find, Xiao Nan couldn't find anyone else who could help her handle this matter. The neighbors in the quad could send Ding Jiyi to the hospital in the middle of the night. They had to run about and could already be considered as China's best neighbors. Xiao Nan wasn't by Ding Jiyi's side. However, there was still Xiao Zijin next to her. Her biological elder daughter was by her side, but Ding Jiyi had to rely on her neighbors to send her to the hospital when she was sick. It was as if there was no difference whether Xiao Zijin was around or not. What else could Xiao Nan say? At least, by comparison, her neighbors were more reliable than Xiao Zijin, her daughter. Zai Sheng said, "You've said it yourself. It isn't a complicated matter to begin with. If he was someone ordinary, it should be quite troublesome for him. Thankfully, he's well built. If Xiao Zijin and your mom see him, they would restrain their temper." Zai Sheng didn't blindly find someone for help, let alone just accept anyone who was willing to help. The person he found had a lot of pros. Firstly, he was a retired soldier. He had nothing else but strength and skills. He never blinked even if he had to deal with a few strong men, let alone Xiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi. Secondly, he was a police officer. Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin were not afraid of anyone but people in uniforms. Both of them wouldn't dare to be too rampant. It was precisely because the other party was a police officer that it was more convenient for him to help Xiao Nan and intervene in the Xiao family's matters. It was enough for him to just produce his police officer's card. No other questions needed to be asked. That's good. In front of the Xiao family, it was easy for Xiao Nan's mind to go blank. Thankfully, she had a reliable husband. Otherwise, with the Xiao family creating trouble for her all the time, not to mention if the Wang family might have made a move on the Xiao family to threaten her, it was already exhausting enough for her to deal with the troubles the Xiao family had created themselves. Go and rest for a while. Ding Jiyi was ill and Xiao Nan didn't want to go back. Although Xiao Nan wasn't physically there, her heart had already flown back to Pingcheng. Zai Sheng knew Xiao Nan's predicament and wanted her to rest more. Didn't you say that you usually feel good? It's going to be the examinations a few days later. Based on what you're saying, you don't have to cram at the 11th hour at all. Stop reading your books. If you're sleepy, go to sleep. If you're not, you can take over Dad's and Mom's duties. The triplets are quite energetic, after all. I think the three of them would be very happy that you're playing with them. The three children could distract Nan's attention so that she wouldn't feel physically and mentally tired because of the Xiao family's matters. Let me sleep. After knowing that Ding Jiyi was in the hospital, Xiao Nan's nerves had always been tight. Thankfully, Ding Jiyi only suffered from food poisoning and mild gastric problems. If Ding Jiyi's condition was serious, even if Xiao Nan wanted to escape, she had to rush back to Pingcheng to visit her biological mother, Ding Jiyi. Thankfully, Xiao Nan didn't need to do so. After Xiao Nan went upstairs to rest and upon seeing that his parents were playing with the three children, Zai Sheng made a call. He was calling another important person from the Xiao family, Xiao Dongliang. Hello? Dad, it's me. Zai Sheng, what happened? He thought that his daughter had called him. He didn't expect it to be his son-in-law. Xiao Dongliang could finally understand the ancient saying, the mountain was high and the emperor was far away. When he used to live in the Qiao family's small courtyard, as Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin were often by his side, he felt that every day of his life was depressing. It was good now. He was far away from that mother-daughter pair and had cut off contact with them. As he breathed in the fresh air of the mountains, he felt that he was a lot younger. He might even be able to live for a few more years and watch the triplets enter a good university after growing up. This would make up for their mother's regret that she dropped out of school early. Zai Sheng could naturally hear Xiao Dongliang's relaxed tone. Zai Sheng was dissatisfied with this. Xiao Dongliang was the head of the Qiao family. In the earlier years, as a husband, he couldn't control the presumptuous and partial Ding Ji. As a father, he didn't stand firm enough to protect Jiao Nan, his daughter, causing her to sacrifice her own happiness at a young age to support the family. The feeling of letting others carry the burden of the entire family was great. Even until now, whenever Xiao Dongliang ran into problems, he only knew how to escape and ask Jiao Nan for help. He never thought if Jiao Nan could handle the things that he wanted to avoid. Who was the father and who was the daughter? Were their positions reversed? A lot of fathers protected and doted on their daughters. However, his daughter shouldered the responsibility of the entire family at a young age. Zai Sheng felt that not a lot of men would get a divorce. However, his father-in-law was one of them. Chapter 2364, Sticking to One's Opinions, 2. Zai Sheng really didn't like such a father-in-law who couldn't support himself. He had lived his life in such a foolish manner. What he felt heartache over was that Jiao Nan had Xiao Dongliang as a father and she didn't lead a good life. He thought about Zai Hua again. She had grown up in a bed of roses since she was young. When she thought of getting married, she even became rebellious and fell out with the entire family because of a man. They had conflicts and everyone didn't get along well with one another for so many years. With the example of Zai Hua next to him to make comparisons with Jiao Nan, it was no wonder Zai Sheng didn't have a good impression of Xiao Dongliang. Zai Sheng briefly told Xiao Dongliang about Ding Ji's and Qiao Zijin's situation. Mom's still in the hospital. It looks like they would still be arguing with each other. Dad, what are you planning to do? Xiao Dongliang could ignore Ding Ji such that Nan Nan would have no choice but to handle the Qiao family's matters. Zai Sheng really felt mentally tired for Qiao Nan. From Zai Sheng's view, how could Qiao Nan's misfortune be attributed to only Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin? It wasn't something good that Qiao Nan had a father like Xiao Dongliang. Xiao Dongliang fell silent for a while. Then, he laughed bitterly. I'm not capable at all. As the only male in the family, I can't manage anyone. No one's willing to listen to my words either. Both parties are formidable. Ask Nan Nan not to worry and just let them fight it out among themselves. Upon hearing that Ding Ji was admitted into the hospital because of her quarrel with Qiao Zijin, Xiao Dongliang didn't know how he should react. Back when he was admitted into the hospital because of Qiao Zijin's push, he had long known in his heart that if something were to really happen to him and Ding Ji, they didn't need to count on Qiao Zijin to take care of them. The only thing he could ask for was that on the basis that Jiao Nan was willing to fork out money, both he and Ding Ji couldn't fall sick at the same time. Only one person could be hospitalized at any one time. With Jiao Nan's financial support, he and Ding Ji could still take care of each other and have someone by their sides. Qiao Zijin? Regardless of if it was money or presents, Xiao Dongliang had never planned to count on her. Yes, back then, Xiao Dongliang had decided to lead a life together with Ding Ji and support each other. However, because of what happened later, Xiao Dongliang felt that he really couldn't live under the same roof as Ding Ji anymore. When Xiao Dongliang moved out of Pingcheng, he also realized that as a father, he would similarly create trouble for Nan Nan. Thankfully, Xiao Nan married a good man and the Zai family liked her. They didn't care that Xiao Nan had a lot of family matters. Otherwise, whose daughter-in-law's family would always have problems. Most importantly, they kept asking for money. How would someone like such a daughter-in-law? He said that he wanted to live in another place. It sounded so simple. The problem was that Jiao Nan was the person who had found the house and paid for it. If Jiao Nan didn't have a husband like Zai Sheng, she would really have to go to the hospital and sell blood to satisfy his willful request. Xiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi were spending Jiao Nan's money. He was spending quite a bit of her money as well. After realizing this, Xiao Dongliang felt terrible. However, he couldn't change this fact. Let him be selfish and willful once more. He really wanted to stay away from Ding Jiyi and lead a life alone. If he was 10 years younger, even if he had to sweep the streets and could only earn 1 or 2,000 yuan a month, he wouldn't have stayed at home. He would definitely rely on his own efforts and move out after earning enough money. With Jiao Nan's blessings, Xiao Dongliang really tried to put Jiao Zijin's and Ding Jiyi's matters aside. In the past, Xiao Dongliang felt that Jiao Nan suffered the most in the Jiao family. She treated everyone well but nobody was friendly toward her. Even in this situation, he carried the mindset that both of them were their daughters and he hoped that Nan, who had married well, would help Zijin. Xiao Dongliang knew that he kept having such thoughts and had even shared them with Jiao Nan a few times. The only thing that made Xiao Dongliang feel more comfortable in his heart now was that every time this happened, Jiao Nan never once promised him. After marriage, Jiao Nan had really become stronger and more principled. No matter how much Ding Jiyi kicked up a fuss or created trouble, Jiao Nan didn't promise her anything that she shouldn't have promised. In this way, Jiao Nan didn't lose too much face in front of the Zai family or create too much trouble for herself because of the Jiao family's matters. It was with great difficulty that Jiao Dongliang broke through his own psychological defenses and let his daughter, Jiao Zijin, develop freely. No matter if it was good or bad or if she was dead or alive, it was all up to Jiao Zijin to live her life. At this time, Xiao Dongliang really didn't want to return to Pingcheng and care about that mother-daughter pair, destroying the happiness that he had finally obtained. Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin didn't want to lead a good life and were arguing all day. He was already old and didn't have so much energy and strength to kick up a fuss together with them. After knowing Xiao Dongliang's thoughts, what else could Zai Sheng say? He couldn't say anything. He looked down on Xiao Dongliang, who couldn't manage Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin. Now, he was even shirking responsibility and delegating all the family burdens to Jiao Nan. However, in Zai Sheng's heart, it was more down to earth for Xiao Dongliang to wash his hands off this matter than to ask Jiao Nan to help him with matters, help Jiao Zijin arrange jobs, and help Jiao Zijin find a partner when he wasn't capable at all. If he didn't care, he should really not care completely. If he didn't care about Jiao Nan but still cared about Jiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi like before, such a way of washing his hands off matters was even scarier. Alright, I understand. You should understand Nan's situation here as well. With your words, I'm relieved. If not for Nan's reputation, no one would be willing to care so much about Ding Jiyi's and Xiao Zijin's matters. Nan and the 3 children. As soon as Ding Jiyi's and Xiao Zijin's matters ended, the atmosphere between the two became awkward. Both of them seemed to have nothing to talk about. Xiao Dongliang wasn't a fool, let alone a blockhead. His son-in-law didn't hide his coldness and indifference when speaking to him. As long as Xiao Dongliang was still alive, how would he not feel this? Even if Zai Sheng didn't say much and didn't have much expression, how would Xiao Dongliang not have guessed where Zai Sheng's coldness for him came from? Xiao Dongliang felt that he indeed wasn't a qualified father or husband. He had let down all 3 women from the Xiao family. He was a disappointing person. No wonder his son-in-law's attitude and tone toward him were like this. The responsibility lay with him. He didn't blame Zai Sheng for being disrespectful toward him. Chapter 2365, Sticking to One's Opinions, 3. Nan's having the examinations in a few days. Mom said that Nan Nan has a strong knowledge foundation and doesn't need to revise for these couple of days. Rather than making herself so tense, why doesn't she relax and take the examinations in the most relaxed manner? She's not taking the college entrance examinations. Based on Nan Nan's usual performance, as long as she maintains her standards, it's not difficult for her to handle the examinations at all. So, Xiao Dongliang only felt that Zai Sheng was saying that Xiao Nan's results were not bad and she had studied well. He couldn't tell where Xiao Nan and the three children were now. Zai Sheng was speechless at how Xiao Dongliang was unable to grasp the important points of his words. Sure, treat it that he had said nothing just now. He heard from Nan Nan that his father-in-law liked smart children who knew how to study. If the Qiao family hadn't harmed Nan Nan, based on her hard-working character, even if she didn't use the Qiao family's money, she would definitely have relied on her efforts and thought of ways to graduate from university. Nan Nan was completely delayed by the Qiao family. Nan Nan's playing with the three children in the playroom. Since Xiao Dongliang couldn't grasp the main point and feel the central meaning he had wanted to express in his words, Zai Sheng kept his thoughts and no longer wasted his breath. Based on Xiao Dongliang's attitude today, he had made this call in vain. In the future, unless Xiao Dongliang took the initiative to call them, they shouldn't call him and disturb his exciting life alone. Dad, there's nothing else. I'm hanging up the call. After having this thought, Zai Sheng no longer continued to waste his phone bill. He hung up the call with a slam. He was going to treat it as if he hadn't made this call today. What's wrong? Xiao Nan, who came out to pour water for the three children, saw that Zai Sheng didn't look too good. Were there changes in Ding Jiyi's illness? Or did Xiao Zijin kick up a fuss in a public place like the hospital? Zai Sheng said to hand over all the Qiao family's matters to him. Xiao Nan knew too clearly how formidable the Qiao family was and didn't really throw the entire burden to Zai Sheng for him to carry alone. She still remembered how tough it had been for her to carry this burden initially and didn't dare to forget it. She had suffered before. How would she let Zai Sheng, her lover, suffer such hardships again? Tell me the situation. If there's really no other way, I'll make a trip back to Pingcheng. There will always be a solution to the matter. Anyway, no matter how much Xiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi kick up a fuss now, I won't give them face and let them succeed. That was right as well. Aside from her father, she was the only one left in the Qiao family. Regardless of if it was Ding Jiyi or Xiao Zijin kicking up a fuss in the hospital, no one could hold them back. She was different. She was also surnamed Xiao. The people in the Qiao family were the kind who only wanted to enjoy life and not work. Based on Xiao Dongliang's pension alone and without Xiao Nan's monthly subsidies, it would have been impossible for the Qiao family of three to live until today. How much money was there in Xiao Dongliang's monthly pension? How much money was required for a family of three's daily meals? Xiao Dongliang didn't even spend a single cent of the pension he received monthly. All of it went into Ding Jiyi's pockets, and he watched silently as Ding Jiyi made plans using this amount of money. Once Xiao Dongliang left, this small pension no longer had anything to do with Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin. This retirement sum might not be a lot. However, Xiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi were unemployed and didn't earn any salary. Having meager benefits was better than nothing. The problem was that Xiao Dongliang's pension was so low and it was gone now. As such, Xiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi could only rely on the small sum of money that Xiao Nan provided every month. Didn't they say that those with money had the biggest say? Xiao Nan had provided Ding Jiyi's and Xiao Zijin's living expenses. Thus, they had to listen to Xiao Nan's words. If they were disobedient, if Xiao Nan was annoyed and reduced or even cut off their living expenses, Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin would only suffer then. Ding Jiyi had never gone out to work in this lifetime, let alone save part of her money for rainy days. Xiao Zijin had quite a lot of money in her pocket. She still had 1 million yuan. The problem was that Xiao Zijin didn't want to use this sum of money at all. If it wasn't that Jiao Zijin was reluctant to part with her money, seeing that Ding Ji was picking on her, would she have thought of all ways to fight with her biological mother and anger her such that she was admitted into the hospital? Jiao Zijin had more than 1,000,000 yuan. As long as she wasn't willing to use this sum of money, to Ding Ji, this sum didn't exist at all. She wouldn't have a chance to use it. Unless Jiao Zijin no longer wanted to take advantage of Ding Ji, Jiao Nan, who gave Ding Ji monthly living expenses, would be Ding Ji's and Jiao Zijin's sugar daddy. If they wanted to spend Jiao Nan's money, they had to listen to Jiao Nan. If they didn't, they wouldn't have money. It was still that saying. Whoever had money was the boss. After slowly grasping this reason, Jiao Nan no longer armed herself with indifference like before when she saw Jiao Zijin and Ding Ji. To put it bluntly, the more indifferent her attitude was to Ding Ji and Jiao Zijin, to the extent that she avoided seeing them, the more it would seem like an act of evasion. She had money and a good husband like Zai Sheng. Her in-laws were willing to support her. What was there to be afraid of when she saw Jiao Zijin and Ding Ji? In a few years, after the triplets grow up, she would have 3 more people supporting her. There were so many people behind her. Who were Jiao Zijin and Ding Ji? After cheering herself up, Jiao Nan's frown disappeared. Her face seemed to be covered by a layer of sunshine, making her performance seem even brighter. To Jiao Nan, the existences of Ding Ji and Jiao Zijin were like curses. If she ignored Jiao Zijin and Ding Ji, Jiao Nan could truly liberate herself and be reborn. Zai Sheng didn't expect that because of that call where he was dissatisfied with his father-in-law, Jiao Dongliang, Jiao Nan would become more open-minded after those words. She was different from before as well. Even if it was just a misunderstanding, it was definitely a beautiful one. Don't worry. This has nothing to do with Jiao Zijin and Ding Ji. I just called Dad. My dad. Jiao Nan didn't misunderstand who this dad was. If it was referring to Zai Yai, there wasn't a need to call. Chapter 2366, One's Children Were the Best, 1. Of course, Zai Yai was at home. There was no need for a phone call if Zai Sheng wanted to tell Zai Yai anything. He could simply speak to him face to face. The only one whom Zai Sheng addressed as dad but called over the phone was Jiao Dongliang. What's the matter? Are you troubled because of my dad? After all, Jiao Dongliang was Jiao Nan's biological father. Jiao Nan understood their characters especially well. As such, she was immediately able to guess why Zai Sheng was frowning after making that call. All right. I know the kind of person my dad is. All these years, no matter how foolish I've been, I've gained a clear understanding of him. Don't feel bad for me. Even I wanted to hug myself before I married you now that I think about it. Her biological mother didn't care about her, her biological sister bullied her, and her dad turned a blind eye to all that. How could they hope for family harmony in that case? At that time, she had truly been alone. It was pitiful. Now, things were different. She had a husband, 3 adorable children, as well as parents-in-law who supported her. Compared to her past, she was practically living in paradise now. My dad's temper is a little different from Jiao Zijin's. He's the only one in the family who's never sacrificed me for their sake. But people are really muddle-headed indeed. People of the same family have similar personalities and temper. When you analyze things further, it seems like my dad isn't all that different from Jiao Zijin. Since I don't care about Jiao Zijin or Ding Ji, there's no need to think about my father's temperament and suffer needlessly. That was how her father had been all his life. There was no way he was going to change. In her dream, her dad had gotten a divorce from Ding Ji, and Jiao Zijin had committed suicide. As such, there had been peace as the elderly couple lived their own separate lives. In reality, however, the couple was not divorced, and Jiao Zijin was alive and well. Taking all these factors into account, she had better not count on her father changing his temper, whether it was now or 20 years in the future, much less take up the responsibility of the entire family like a man. She hadn't even had such naive and childish thoughts in her teenage years. Zai Sheng stroked Jiaonan's long hair, not in the least bit comforted by her. Although he felt that Jiaonan was leading a blissful life now after her marriage, it didn't mean that they could simply ignore the tough life she had led before marriage or forget whatever the Chiao family had done. Jiaonan knew all too well how difficult it was to leave the strange circle that was the Chiao family. She had spent 2 whole decades in both her dream and in reality to escape it. Knowing that Zai Sheng pitied her, Jiaonan felt warm. She tugged on Zai Sheng's arm and headed toward the playroom. Your eldest son isn't even 1 yet, but he's already trying to abandon his childish toys to challenge puzzles. Don't you think he's too ambitious? You can go deal with it. De Bao's situation had made Jiaonan's head ache so much so that she had finally temporarily escaped to get water for the children. The 3 children had not even celebrated their first birthdays. To put it bluntly, they couldn't even crawl well. How could they expect to be able to play with puzzles? Their limbs had not even developed fully, much less their eyes and brain. Up until now, Jiaonan had not understood why they had toys like puzzles at home. Where had De Bao managed to get them from? De Bao was not developed at all, apart from his fiery temper. Even the simplest puzzles were meant for 2 to 3-year-old children. De Bao didn't know how to put the puzzle pieces together, and neither could he speak. As such, he simply picked up the pieces and handed them over to his most trusted adult to help him out. But De Bao paid close attention to the orientations and positions of the puzzle pieces. When the adults put them in the wrong orientation, De Bao would always pout unhappily until it was corrected. Even though they knew De Bao was doing it wrongly, they had to continue playing with him. That was not all. This was not even a 10-piece puzzle, but one with over 100 pieces. Jiaonan's lips twitched. If De Bao maintained his interest in this puzzle, he wouldn't give up until he finished it. That would mean that their family could save a huge sum of money for at least 5 years, since they wouldn't need to purchase any toys for De Bao. It took too much effort to play with De Bao. It was not that Jiaonan did not have the patience to do so, but that she had 2 other children. Bao and San Bao were just as young and clingy to their mother. Jiaonan had always split her time between the 3 of them or played with all 3 of them at the same time with one game. De Bao would take up all of Jiaonan's time with such a puzzle. Leaving aside whether Jiaonan could take it, Bao and San Bao would definitely get upset and fight with De Bao. At such a time, there would be no use in Jiaonan getting the children's grandparents. Left with no other choice, Jiaonan could only ask for Zai Sheng's help. She was their mother, but Zai Sheng was their father. De Bao didn't want his grandparents to play with him, but he would probably accept his father's company, right? De Bao was seated beside his father and he wrinkled his face, expressing his displeasure in needing to play with his father. De Bao twisted his neck and strained to look at his father's face. The moment he saw his father's stern and cold expression, he decided not to be picky anymore. If he were to be picky, he might very well get beaten. Once he grew up to be as tall as his father, he would shove his father aside so that his mom could play with him. When that time came, she would definitely not choose his father. Miaojing glanced at the family of 5 from time to time as she peeled some fruits, letting out a wide smile. The auntie cut up the fruits that Miaojing had just peeled into small cubes. Chief Zai seems to be playing well with the children. He's a good dad. 3 years ago, the auntie would definitely have scolded anyone who was foolish enough to say that Zai Sheng would be a father who was willing to leave everything aside to play childish games with his children. Zai Sheng didn't even care for women. How was it possible for him to be a dad in that case? In reality, the auntie had not even been afraid of Zai Yaowai when she had just arrived. But she had always tried her best to avoid Zai Sheng. As a Chinese, she was still rather conservative. Chapter 2367, One's children were the best, 2. Zai Sheng was handsome, had a good family background, and was a chief. How could someone with such great qualifications have remained single without remarrying after his first divorce? Sometimes, people's thoughts were painfully foolish. So what if one was old and single? In the eyes of the general public, these people were terribly ill. Not only was there something wrong with their bodies, but it even seemed as though they had infectious diseases. Everyone tried their best to avoid them. The auntie was a married woman with her own children, while Zai Sheng was a chief who spent much more time in the military than at home. Even without trying to avoid him, the auntie hardly interacted with him. Even so, the auntie had such a strange impression of the unmarried Zai Sheng. The auntie couldn't help but sigh. It was true that marriage was essential in one's life. One just had to take a look at Chief Zai. He had been such a bizarre person in the past, but look how good he was now. He was a perfect father who spent more time at home playing with his children. That's right. Miao Jing announced proudly, our family's children are the best. If Zai Sheng's not a good father, his dad and I will definitely deal with him. Now that they had their grandchildren, what was their son to them? He had been tossed to the side a long time ago. The auntie knew that Miao Jing was simply joking. While grandchildren were precious, sons were equally precious. Thinking about what Zai Sheng had instructed her to do, the auntie glanced at the phone. Chief Zai had said that she had to pick up any call that came from Ping Cheng. If it was not urgent, he would call them back. If it was urgent, she could simply call the military to inform him about it. Why was Zai Sheng so anxious? He had no other choice. Food poisoning was nothing serious, but Ding Jiyi was not young anymore. Besides, Qiao Zijin was around her as a source of provocation. As such, Ding Jiyi's body might just give way at any time and cause her to fall seriously ill. He had found someone to keep an eye on the ill Ding Jiyi. But as a stranger, the other party could not interfere too much in her matters. As such, he could only convey whatever he saw over to Zai Sheng for him to make a decision. In case of such a situation, Zai Sheng informed the auntie in advance about this. Thankfully, the auntie was not a fool either. Zai Sheng still spent some time in the military, and very soon, Qiao Nan would take her graduation examination and receive her degree. Then, Qiao Nan would have time to stay at home with her children. Since it involved her family in Pingcheng, wouldn't it be easier to tell Qiao Nan about the matter instead? Zai Sheng had instructed the auntie instead to give Qiao Nan peace of mind. The auntie couldn't be more supportive of Zai Sheng doting on his wife. There was no way she was going to go against his wishes. Zai Sheng's worries were not unfounded. Ding Jiyi was no good thing, and her daughter, Qiao Zijin, had surpassed her master. Ding Jiyi wasn't too clear about how she had gotten food poisoning. All she remembered was that she had felt especially uncomfortable in the middle of the night. Not only had she come down with a fever, but she had also gotten extremely nauseous as though she had been pregnant all over again. When Ding Jiyi awoke again, the first thing that greeted her was the white ceiling of the hospital and the smell of formalin. Am I in the hospital? After confirming where she was, Ding Jiyi let out a sigh of relief, expressing her joy that she was still alive. When she had been suffering, Ding Jiyi had truly thought that she was on the verge of death. Qiao Dongliang had not been by her side, and the only one who could take care of her, Qiao Nan, was in the capital. As for Qiao Zijin, Ding Jiyi thought it was better not to count on her. In fact, she thought that Qiao Zijin might finally remember her mother's existence once her body started to smell from the decomposition. Auntie, you're up. Do you want some water? Seeing that Ding Jiyi had opened her eyes, the caretaker quickly helped Ding Jiyi up. Auntie, are you feeling uncomfortable? Shall I get the doctor over? The caretaker's attitude was good and she was very concerned about Ding Jiyi's condition. You are. She didn't know this person at all. Why was she taking care of her? I'm the caretaker that your relatives hired. You can ask me for whatever you need. The 30-year-old caretaker was very warm, and her round face gave off a genuine sincerity. After Ding Jiyi was helped up, she took a sip of water to ease her discomfort. My relatives? Which one? Is she here? Ding Ji asked carefully, not knowing what kind of expectations she should have. I'm not sure. I haven't met them before. But they told me to take good care of you. Money was no problem. In fact, she had already received 10,000 yuan from them. Because of the high salary, the caretaker didn't care who had hired her. All she wanted to do was to do her job well and return home with whatever money she deserved. Ding Ji refused to give up. Was there anyone by my side apart from you last night? It didn't seem like she had been seriously ill. It was just one night in the hospital. There must have been someone who had spent the night with her. I'm not too sure. The caretaker was confused why Ding Ji was asking so many questions. There was someone who left just as I arrived. But I heard that those people were your neighbors. The caretaker's eyes brightened. Are you looking for your daughter? She's probably working and has no time to visit you. When the elderly fell sick and were hospitalized, they naturally wished for their children to visit them. The problem was that their children were often busy working. Otherwise, how could they afford to be warded in a private room with a caretaker? Ding Ji was at a loss for words. Ding Ji had not been dead the previous night. Although she had been in great distress, she knew exactly who had sent her to the hospital. What Ding Ji could not forget about was that Jiao Zijin had not found her only after her corpse had decomposed as she had worried about in the past. In fact, less than 3 minutes after she had accidentally toppled her cup on her nightstand, Jiao Zijin had run in to check on her. Chapter 2368, One's Children Were the Best, 2. What hurt Ding Ji was the fact that Jiao Zijin looked for the neighbors for help instead of calling for an ambulance. In the end, the neighbors were the ones that called the ambulance. How embarrassing was that? Some might think that it was the first time Jiao Zijin faced such a situation, and she was panicked and lost. However, Ding Ji knew better. Jiao Zijin was doing it for the money. Jiao Zijin was worried that she would have to pay the deposit as the patient's daughter. She didn't even want to share the fees with Jiao Nan. Jiao Nan was about to be rich after receiving her inheritance, but she was still poor as ever. After all, Ding Ji was Jiao Nan's mother. Given how wealthy she was, it wouldn't be a problem for Jiao Nan to take care of the entire family. Therefore, there was no reason for her to pay a single cent. Jiao Zijin was afraid that Jiao Nan wouldn't return her the money if she paid the deposit. Thus, she came up with the idea of asking the neighbors for help. She knew that Jiao Nan helped the neighbors out before leaving for the capital. In return, the neighbors would help her keep an eye on the Jiao family. There was usually not much going on around the neighborhood. However, if something went wrong with the Jiao family, the neighbors would lend a helping hand before informing Jiao Nan. Jiao Zijin was certain that Jiao Nan would pay for Ding Ji's treatment. After making sure that Ding Ji was not dying anytime soon, Jiao Zijin left as if the woman in the hospital had nothing to do with her. After speaking to the caregiver, Ding Ji got a hold of the situation. Jiao Nan paid for her medical fees and found her a caregiver. Jiao Nan should be considered a filial daughter as she took care of everything. However, that's not how Ding Ji saw it. None of the daughters came to look after her although she was on the verge of dying. When Jiao Zijin got what she wanted, she would act like the sweetest daughter on earth. Jiao Nan, on the other hand, would only send her some allowance. Ding Ji concluded that Jiao Nan had no intention of recognizing her as a mother. All she would do was to settle everything with money. People feel more vulnerable when they are ill. Thinking of her fractured family, Ding Ji buried her head into the pillow and started bawling. The caregiver was shocked. "Madam, what happened? Should I call the doctor?" "No need for that." Ding Ji wiped the tears off her face. "My husband has left me, and my daughters don't care about me at all. What's the point of living? I should just die to make everyone happy. How can these people be so cruel? I am part of their family." As Ding Ji yelled in her ward, she started to feel a sense of self-righteousness. At first, she just wanted to get the frustration off her chest, but it seemed like she soon convinced herself that everyone else was at fault. What was the point of living when everyone loathed her? Qiao Zijin was the one that got her into the hospital. Instead of taking responsibility, Qiao Zijin was running away from her. She didn't even come to the hospital and Ding Ji was left in the hands of a total stranger. Luckily, the caregiver was nice to her. What if it were a bad-tempered caregiver who tortured her to death? Would Qiao Zijin and Qiao Nan even bat an eye? Although Qiao Nan paid the money, she didn't even appear to check on Ding Ji. What if something bad happened to her? Did Qiao Nan wish that her mother would disappear from this world? She couldn't understand why the two daughters hated her so much that there was no turning around. She had to admit that she had favored Qiao Zijin, but she thought that any family with multiple children would have the same problem. After all, she was still the one that brought Qiao Nan to this world and raised her. Where would Qiao Nan be without her? The only reason that Qiao Nan managed to marry into the Zai family was thanks to her. How unfilial and selfish it was for Qiao Nan to hold on to the minor injustice for so long. Ding Ji believed that Qiao Nan would be punished by bad karma. Zai Sheng had divorced once, so it was too early to say that Qiao Nan could enjoy her wealth forever. Who knows? Zai Sheng might find a younger wife when he grew older. There would definitely be ladies queuing up for him. There were elders in the Zai family as well, and they wouldn't want an unfilial woman to stay in the family. Since Qiao Nan was treating her mother this way right now, her 3 children wouldn't be much better when they grew up. Ding Ji believed that her grandchildren would avenge her when Qiao Nan hit her age. Meanwhile, the caregiver was worried sick. No matter what she said to Ding Ji, the latter wouldn't stop crying. If anyone were to walk into the ward right now, they might think that she had abused the patient. "Madam, please stop crying. Tell me what's wrong, and we can look for a solution together. I've heard that you have 2 daughters, and I'm sure they will help you out." Chapter 2369, Chased Away, 1. The caregiver wanted to say that Ding Ji was lucky to have 2 daughters. One of them seemed well off and she was paid quite a fortune to take care of her mother. However, she stopped before she praised the daughters further. Their mother was in the hospital, so they should at least visit once no matter how busy they were. However, the caregiver had seen children that wouldn't pay the medical fees needed to save their parents. In comparison, Ding Ji's daughters were definitely not considered unfilial. Little did she know that her comforting words were like a punch to Ding Ji's guts. After hearing about her daughter, Ding Ji went from sobbing to bawling once again. "Madam, don't just cry. Tell me about it. I'm sure we will find a way." Lord, this old lady wouldn't answer any of her questions. What else could she do when communication was impossible? "I want my daughters to take care of me. I'm not alone. I have 2 daughters. They have to be taking care of me when I'm sick. Call them. I don't want anyone else to take care of me." As long as Qiao Zijin and Qiao Nan would return to her, Ding Ji figured that Qiao Dongliang would be back in no time. Her family could finally be complete again. It didn't matter if Qiao Zijin and Qiao Nan were too clumsy to take care of her. Ding Ji was too embarrassed to be in the hands of a caregiver when she had 2 daughters. The caregiver had no choice. "Fine, should I hand you my phone?" Patients like Ding Ji were not allowed to use a cell phone. However, the caregiver was afraid that her reputation might be damaged if Ding Ji just kept crying. She had no choice but to give in. "Do it for me." Although Ding Ji was throwing a fit, she was still smart enough to know that Jian Nan wouldn't show up if she were the one making the call. Qiao Zijin might visit her, but Ding Ji knew that her only intention would be to see if she could withdraw the deposit. Qiao Zijin had never done chores in her life. Even if Qiao Zijin wanted to take care of her, Ding Ji wouldn't dare to accept it. She might never recover under Qiao Zijin's care. Ding Ji's main target was Qiao Nan. Qiao Nan was rich and powerful, and most importantly, she would be a good caregiver. As long as Xiao Nan showed up, Ding Jiyi would have everything she needed. On top of that, Ding Jiyi figured that the only person that could bring Xiao Dongliang back was Xiao Nan. If Xiao Nan was willing to stay by Ding Jiyi's side, she could take back everything. I'm doing it. The caregiver's eyes widened in surprise. Are you sure? She had never seen a mother that would ask someone else to contact her daughters. Could it be that the old lady didn't know how to use a cell phone? That seemed like a reasonable answer until she saw Ding Jiyi's phone. It was a smartphone with all kinds of social media and messaging applications installed. In that case, why did she need some else to text her daughters? Forget it. The caregiver figured that the old lady just had a weird personality. Madam, is this your contact? The caregiver pointed at Xiao Zijian's name. Ding Jiyi took a glance. That's my older daughter, and there's no need to call her for now. Call my younger daughter. Younger daughter. The caregiver tried her best, but she couldn't find anyone surnamed Xiao other than Xiao Dongliang. Xiao Dongliang was obviously a male name, and there's no way it could be her younger daughter's contact. Madam, which one is your younger daughter? I couldn't find it. Are you stupid? Ding Jiyi glared at the caregiver. Why do you need my phone to contact my younger daughter? Just call the number that hired you. Ding Jiyi wanted to have Xiao Nan's number as well, but that wretched girl wouldn't leak a single digit to her. Other than Xiao Dongliang, no one in her family knew Xiao Nan's number. Since Xiao Nan hired the caregiver, Ding Jiyi knew that the latter would have Xiao Nan's number. This time, she was going to get it for sure. The caregiver's expression changed. She was here to work, and she was paid for her labor. It wasn't the first time she encountered rude patients, but someone as weird as Ding Jiyi was sure a rare sight. A man hired me to take care of you. I don't know your younger daughter's contact, and there's nothing I can do. She had never seen the old lady's younger daughter, so how was she supposed to find her? A man? That's my son-in-law. Ding Jiyi looked proud. You have no idea how fortunate my younger daughter was to marry the chief of the capital. If it weren't for me, there's no way she could become the chief's wife. Our relationship is always pleasant as she appreciates me for what she has today. If you have any relative that wants to join the military, you'd better take good care of me. Now, call my son-in-law and get my daughter here. It's your chance to make a good impression. Ding Jiyi didn't care about lying to a caregiver. There was no way a mere worker would dare to doubt her credibility. At this moment, her priority was to get Xiao Nan here. Chapter 2370, Chased Away, 2. The caregiver had almost been frightened by Ding Jiyi. Thankfully, she had seen boastful people in the past too. She had no idea whether Ding Jiyi's younger son-in-law and daughter did have such high positions. What she did know was that her employer, who had hired her to take care of Ding Jiyi, had been rather indifferent when talking about Ding Jiyi. It was as though he was talking about a stranger. She wasn't blind. She could tell whether people felt gratitude and had close relationships with others. Since Ding Jiyi had already said that, the caregiver could only listen to her and call her employer so as to appease Ding Jiyi. Hello, boss. It's the caregiver that you hired to take care of Auntie Ding. Oh, it's you. The party on the other end of the call had been stunned for a moment before finally realizing who Ding Jiyi was. The other party truly did not have much impression of Ding Jiyi, but he had been asked to hire a caregiver recently for his old chief. The moment he heard the word caregiver, he realized who it was. What's the matter? Why are you calling me now? Is there something wrong? Everyone in society was scheming nowadays. The other party had been elated that the old chief remembered him. As such, he had agreed without any hesitation the moment the old chief asked him for help. At that time, Zai Sheng had not been very clear with his words. But he had been able to guess the situation. To be honest, Ding Jiyi had dug her own grave. 3 years ago, if she had not wholeheartedly tried to force Jiao Nan out just to help Jiao Zijin and let Jiao Nan bear the burden of the cost of Jiao Zijin's treatment, she and Jiao Zijin would never have gone on the news, exposing the Jiao family's dirty laundry to everyone. Now, there was hardly anyone in Pingcheng who didn't know about their family and how biased and unreliable Ding Ji was as a mother. Her elder daughter had a house to her name, and yet, she had forced her poor younger daughter to fork out the money for her elder daughter's treatment. That was not all. She had even spread false rumors about her younger daughter, causing everyone to misunderstand her younger daughter before the truth was exposed. It had been 3 years since then. There were so many pieces of news every day. If no one mentioned it, it would have faded into the background as time went by. Unfortunately, the news that had been broadcasted in Pingcheng at that time was solid evidence. It was very easy for a civil servant to investigate what had happened. Hearing that the chief was asking him to find someone to take care of Ding Ji with such an indifferent tone, the veteran realized that the chief didn't think much of his mother-in-law. His chief was such a good person, and he was finding someone to take care of his mother-in-law. If she had not committed some grave error, the chief would never have such an attitude toward her. Knowing that he was supposed to take care of someone called Ding Ji, the veteran took less than half a day to gather all these pieces of news. Although he had no idea which lady of the Chiao family his chief had married, he didn't even need any brains to guess that the chief must have married the unlucky younger daughter of the Chiao family after looking through the documents. If he had not married the younger daughter, Ding Ji might have skinned her alive to feed her elder daughter given how much she loved her elder daughter. If the chief were to be that lady's elder son-in-law, he would never be so cold toward her. Besides, he wasn't blind either. Although he had never seen the Chiao family's younger daughter, the veteran was willing to cut his head off if his chief had truly fallen for Chiao Zijin instead. Even he wouldn't take a fancy to such a woman, let alone the chief. After understanding the general relationship between Ding Ji and Zai Sheng, the veteran knew how best to take care of her. As such, he was not particularly anxious upon receiving the caregiver's call. He had already gotten a clear understanding of the whole situation. It was nothing more than food poisoning that had been treated at the hospital. Unless Ding Ji created more trouble for herself, Ding Ji would be discharged in a few days' time. Honestly, if anyone else had come down with food poisoning, they wouldn't even have been sent to the hospital nor had a caregiver take care of them. Auntie Ding wishes to meet her younger daughter and have her younger daughter take care of her instead. Initially, the caregiver had been rather overjoyed about that. Where else would she find a job that had such short working hours and such high pay? Besides, everyone in society was of a certain standard now. The higher the salary, the more polite they would be. The caregiver had thought that she had met with such great luck. But after being scolded viciously by Ding Ji, the caregiver was sure that Ding Ji was not as easygoing or good-natured as she had expected. It was fine if she wouldn't get paid. Ding Ji could find herself another caregiver. The veteran smirked. Don't bother about her. If she's recovered, then your work is done. I won't shortchange you of anything I promised earlier. You can let her vent her temper. Don't care about her. You don't have to call me again. Unless she hurts herself, don't contact me as long as she's still alive and well. I hope that your next call will be to report that you've finished your job and are asking for your pay. This old woman was really troublesome. Was she going to ignore all of those immoral things she had done and how she had almost driven the chief's wife to death? The chief's wife had finally managed to escape from her grasp after marrying the chief. Who would be so stupid as to jump back into the pit that they had just climbed out of? That. The caregiver hesitated for a moment. She's been throwing a tantrum, demanding her 2 daughters to take care of her. She even mentioned to me about her younger son-in-law. What shall I do if she takes it out on me? It has nothing to do with her no matter how well her younger son-in-law does. Her younger son-in-law's things don't belong to her either. Just do as I say. Her younger daughter and son-in-law won't blame you for it. I'll take the blame if anything happens. The veteran understood his chief's temper all too well. As such, the veteran was confident of making such a promise. It would be truly incredulous if the chief tolerated an old woman like that bullying his own wife. If Ding Ji was not the mother of the chief's wife, she had better not make any mistakes. Otherwise, that would really be the end of her.